Namaste everyone. In my last video I had discussed about Saturn and its effects on India and on our fortunes. I had also mentioned that a new age of consciousness is about to come, about to enter our lives. A 0.125 micron size and almost invisible coronavirus has forced us to reprioritize things in our life. Worldwide, people are adjusting, adapting and accepting the new way of life. It's like nature is telling us clearly that all your wealth, power and status don't mean anything, because it cannot replace that 18 milligram of oxygen that you need for every breath of yours. Friends, the message is very clear here. We have been forced to spend time with our families, with ourselves, within ourselves, to introspect, to think and to find out how well can we lead our lives further with each other, with nature. As Albert Einstein put it, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that was used to create it. So let's use this time of introspection, this time of thinking, to improve our consciousness so that we can be a better version of ourselves, a more useful version of ourselves. Let us understand the concept of consciousness. Consciousness is simply awareness of existence, not only external but also internal existence. In fact, the more we are aware of our internal existence, the external becomes more peaceful, more beautiful. Fact is, you cannot raise your level of consciousness. Consciousness is already out there. We have to rise to its level. It's a quest, it's a search, it's an affinity, it's an adventure to find out the answer for the truth of the most important question: who am I? And when that question is answered, the other questions like what is my purpose of life or what do I do now, all this gets answered automatically. In this quest or in this search, there are 4 stages. If you pay attention, you will find that you are either in one of these 4 stages or are preparing to move from one stage to another. Stage 0. This is the state of deep sleep, the unconscious. The person is not trying to seek anything, learn anything consciously. He is not aware of his internal and external surroundings. He is busy doing his own thing. Most of you would have guessed right. Almost all of us are in this particular stage. Here man is like a machine. With a machine, you press a button, you get an output, right? Same way, here you press a button, anger comes out. You press another button, he gets upset. Life and approach are very mechanical here. The Katha Upanishad gives a very beautiful analogy. It says that if your body is like a chariot driven by 5 horses, these horses represent your 5 senses: hearing, seeing, smell, taste and touch. The mind is the reins that control the horse. The intellect is the driver of the chariot and you are the master of the chariot, you, the self. But the self, the master, is fast asleep. So, the intellect is directionless and the mind takes the chariot in whichever direction the senses want it to take. This means for some time, based on one desire, it goes in one direction. After some time, it changes direction, goes into a different place. We are all like that. We get angry sometimes. Anger becomes our master. We go in that direction. Then we get upset over some action that we have done in anger. Then sadness becomes our master. This is how most people lead their lives. That's why Sigmund Freud calls this stage as the stage of unconsciousness. Man exists, but only externally. Also, here we are ready to take the labels given to us by the society. If you ask someone, who are you? I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. Religion-based answers. Sometimes it can be geography based also, like I'm an African, I'm an Indian, I'm an Australian, I'm a Punekar, I'm a Mumbaikar. Sometimes the labels are also very hybrid, funnily. I'm a Punekar Brahman, I'm a Gujarati Jain, and so on, and so many. We humans are brilliant at dividing and categorizing anything that we get. We have divided the earth, we have divided the ocean waters, and also the seemingly impossible airspace around us. We then further divided ourselves into groups, subgroups, microgroups, and so on, based on religions, caste, color, race, and so many things. And the problem is we have taken these labels too seriously, limiting ourselves, giving a boundary to ourselves. The problem is not in accepting the labels. They are good practically from an administrative point of view, from a community point of view. The problem is when you start resisting them or considering certain labels which you are not part of as something that is bad and something that is not fit to exist. In this stage, man doesn't question too much. He simply takes the answers that the society gives to him, even if the answers are mediocre. You have a religion. How? Because you were born into it. You have knowledge. How? Because you have read some books, you have heard some priest or some head of a community. But you have never made an attempt to go inwards and understand and validate your understanding. The point is, here we have not experienced it ourselves. We are all sometimes in this particular stage. Sometimes we are overcome by our obsessions, our instincts, by our impulses, by our insanities. But the point is that we must be able to understand when that is happening and not allow this conscious behavior to take over. Next time you get angry and see that anger is rising in you, wait before you say anything or do any action. Sit peacefully, observe the anger rising in you. Don't judge it, don't fight it with emotions. Try to isolate this anger outside of you as a piece of energy. Observe it. Slowly this anger will subside. After all, it's a piece of energy. And then this energy, instead of wasting it as anger, you have successfully converted it from an unconscious state to a conscious state. That is some progress. With such small steps of introspection in every area of your life, you gradually move on to the next stage of consciousness. Stage 1, the dream state, the state of subconscious. The person here has started seeking answers. The seed of spirituality has started sprouting. It might be wavering, might not be perfect, but that's okay. He has at least started seeking answers. In stage 0, the person was past oriented. The society told him that everything good about the world has already happened in the past. So he's not really looking forward in the future. But in this particular stage, stage 1, our person is future oriented. He believes the best is about to come. In stage 0, the person is holding on to his one book given to him by his community. In stage 1, the person is open, is available to all the books. He will read the Gita, he will read the Quran, he will read the Bible, and he will get confused. And that's okay because he's decided to experience it himself. In this stage, the person is open to all the religions. He is open to learning from all the teachers. If you tell him that there's a temple out there, there's a mosque out there, or there's a church out there, go there, you'll get a nirvana. He is ready to do that adventure because he wants to seek the truth. The 15th century saint and poet Kabir puts this in two very wonderful lines. He says, "Pani mein meen pyasi, pani mein meen pyasi, mohe sun sun aave hasi," which means he is considering us like a fish in water. Imagine a fish who is surrounded by water tells you that it is feeling thirsty. You will laugh at it, right? Same is with us. Our universe is surrounded by God. God is within the universe, within ourselves. And we are seeking God externally, outside of us. This is the same situation where our stage 1 individual is. But slowly, with time, with trial and error, with better understanding, he realizes this and then goes on to the next stage. Stage 2. This is the state of awakening, the conscious state. The seeker has found his true master, a realized soul himself. The master was already there, but the seeker had to go through all the previous states so that he could come to this realization. This is the stage wherein Arjuna meets a Krishna as his master. A Vivekananda meets Paramhamsa as his guru. This is a state where he is ready to become a disciple and ready to unlearn. This is important. In the first stage, the individual was not ready to learn anything. In the second stage, the individual is ready to learn everything. And in this stage, you are ready to unlearn everything. Now the question, who am I, has become a burning question. No philosophical answer will do now. You need an experiential answer. And the master is not going to give you an answer directly. He is going to take away all your answers and assumptions away from you. Finally, the seeker starts going deep within himself. He takes away his mind and starts experiencing. That is where realization happens. Stage 3. The Upanishads mention about the previous 3 stages: Sushupti, deep sleep; Swapna, the dream state; and Jagrata, the state of awakening. The 4th stage is the Turiya. In Turiya, the enlightenment, the realization brings you to the center of your core, your soul, your innermost core, the stage of nirvana. In this stage, the master and disciple are not there. They have become one. There is no God and devotee. They have become one. This is the highest state of being, Sat Chit Ananda. You transcend all dualities and become one with the whole. You start seeing everything inside yourselves and yourselves inside everything. This is that state of joy and bliss that Mirabai sings in her bhajans about. When she expresses her love for Lord Krishna and she says, "Payo ji maine Ram Ratan Dhan payo." She means, I have found the gem of wealth of the divine, the true wealth. It is said that when Muhammad heard for the first time, he heard the God's angel Jibrail standing behind him, asking him to recite the glory of God, recite the name of God. And Muhammad said, I am not a literate person. I don't know how to read or write. How can I? The angel said, precisely. Those who know and those who can read and write are lost in their knowledge. You are very pure at this moment. That's why I say, go ahead, recite. And then, through him, God spoke, his soul spoke, and in that very beautiful moment, the beautiful Quran was born. So, the source is the soul. All the Gitas, the Qurans, the Bibles are born in the soul. When Christ entered his soul, the Bible blossomed. When Krishna entered his core, the beautiful Bhagavad Gita came out. When Buddha penetrated his soul, the Dhammapad was born. Everything and every answer is in your soul. Friends, let us use this present global challenge as an opportunity, as a transformation catalyst for ourselves. For a long time now, we have been creating borders and boundaries for people in the name of countries, religion, race, economic status, and so many other boundaries. This pandemic, this virus knows no borders. It doesn't differentiate between rich and poor, between a developed and a developing nation, between this religion or that religion. It has made a mockery of all the divisions that humans have created for themselves. the only weapon that we are using to fight against this is unity, that we are standing as one, not as an individual, not as a state, not as a country, but as one single world. That is the message of Supreme Consciousness, that you are one with everything and everything is one. So we are told to rise to the level of our consciousness and develop higher understanding. That should be our aim, and that is what our younger generations deserve. A blissful world, free of conflicts, free of separations, free of divisions. Thank you.